Yeah, it was a good weekend from a lot of different angles. That being one of them, because if you're not if you're going to have success there, you got to compete. And how consistently can you compete throughout the game? And at times, I thought we did a real nice job and gave opportunities, and other times we didn't. But uh, it's an eye opener from the standpoint that if you want to be successful, you have to be able to do that for an extended period of time. Hopefully, do it for 60 minutes. If you don't, then you visually, whether you're on the ice going through that or on the bench watching it, you see what can happen. And so, in that rink, little things make a big difference. And so, if you don't get the puck out, you're going to spend time in your end. If you don't get it in, they're going to counter and come at you. So, from that point, from a coaching perspective, it's a learning opportunity. So I can talk about it, but then when you go through it, oh, that's what you need, coach. And so that's part of the process. And I like our resilience as far as both nights. We got down a couple goals and we fought back, and we gave ourselves a chance to win, and we did that Friday. And even at times in the second period Saturday, it wasn't looking too pretty, but yeah, you're right there. You get your power play with 7 or 8 minutes to go, and now you have a chance to tie it, and we end up giving a shorthander. We come back, get the second one, and then we got 2+ minutes on 6-on-5, and all the games you're involved in, generally you'll get one good look. You might get two, you might get five, but at least you'll get one good look. We didn't really get one good look in that 2 minutes because they were defending, they were blocking, we weren't reading, and we were doing things necessary to get that one good look. It might have been a goal, it might not have. Generally, you get one good look. We didn't get that one good look. So again, learn from it, and move on.
Between the second game this weekend or both games this weekend, rather, that second game at Minnesota, a few slow starts. Has there been any connective tissue between those three games in your eyes?
No, I mean, actually, Friday night, our first 6 minutes was really good. We came back Saturday night, our first three shifts were really good. And our fourth shift, we had a turnover. We got hemmed in for about a shift and a half. But, those first minutes of those games, like the first 6 or 7 minutes of Friday night's game, we played as well as we played all year. We had two golden opportunities the first 40 seconds of the game. And Saturday, again, the first three shifts were solid. We're good. The fourth one wasn't as much, and they gained a little momentum. And then shortly after that, they scored. And as we've talked about before, when teams score, they get excited. And they were going to come out Saturday and, play like they lost Friday night. And that can be just the difference in, getting yourselves ready to be successful or not. And are you going to be able to match that?
Since it's so quickly feeds off of scoring, kind of, she scores, she tends to score more. Is that something you hope maybe she gets on track and it's hitting the net on a few more of these chances that she's getting?
Yeah, I mean, people go on streaks, and if you're a streaky scorer and you pop a couple in or you get a goal, then hopefully that next couple come a little bit easier than the one that you just had. So it's about staying into the process. You get 14 games into the season, and the big thing is to come back, like we did yesterday in practice and do the little things. It's like golfing. What do I do? Well, today I'm not going to be able to chip and putt because of the weather. I have something set up in my basement where I can work on my putting stroke. But the whole picture, I mean, it's been good. And so the big thing is to come out Friday, especially early in the game, and establish what we're capable of doing. It's more about us than what we're playing against. And so if we continue to play at a high level, we got challenged this past weekend, a very competitive environment, and so we have to take that compete level and bring it into Friday's game. That's what I'll be looking for.
You guys have spent little to no time this season for winning almost every game, but this weekend you spent a good amount of time on it. What did you learn from your group in those moments that you hadn't seen so far this year?
Well, as I've said before, if you get scored on, that next shift is important. Obviously, the other team's going to have a little bit of momentum. Can you take it away from them, and can you do it quickly? And we stuck with that. Friday after getting down a couple goals, playing with the excitement of the home crowd, and just sort of stayed tuned to business. And when Lacey scored in the second period, it gives us energy. And then we got a little bit of a bounce on Casey's goal, and now it's 2-2, and now it's it's like playing chess. You make your move, I'm going to make my move. You're going to make your move, I'm going to make my move, and who's going to capitalize on one of those? And we got our power play, and the first part of the power play wasn't very good. It was pretty ugly, in fact, but we stuck with it. We created a turnover, popped out 4-on-2, and made a nice play for Lacey to get the third goal, and now can we get to the finish line? And I thought Saturday, we were maybe in the same scenario. We got a power play late. The power play's been working pretty good lately. Can we tie it up and then put them on their heels and see where we go from there? We weren't able to do that. You give up a shorthander, and even coming back and making it 3-2, like I said earlier, you still have a chance. And so, when you're on the road, you're playing against a top team like Ohio State. Give us an opportunity and see if we can capitalize on our opportunity, whether it's the full game or in a certain situation that can turn the game. And that's what you look for, and that's what we had even Saturday night in our loss.
How do you see your team kind of respond after the first series that they split these couple days of practice?
Well, the big thing for us, is to manage, the energy level. Especially the kids that travel out west to play in 3 games in 5 days with the Team USA, and them getting on a plane shortly after they get back from Madison, go down to Columbus and play 2 real intense games. And so you're managing their mode right now and making sure that we're doing everything we can, so when they step on the ice Friday night at 7, they're ready to play. They're hungry, and that's the main point of attention. When you play 2 competitive games like that in a small environment, similar to what the men did at Penn State, where things are quick. There's a lot of contact. Well, you get back Sunday, you wake up Monday, and oh man, I'm a little sore. Well, yeah, you expended yourself. You've competed really high for 6 periods. Yeah, you're going to be sore. So it's our job to manage that, to communicate and be transparent with each other and make sure we're doing the right things on the ice to get necessary for St. Thomas, but also managing what's going on, outside of the rink.
Well, along those lines, KK was on the ice a lot, had puck on
Yep.
stick a lot over the weekend. Even in the Saturday, deep in the game, what did you see from her in terms of that level of just the, I'm sure it was mentally taxing at that point, the
Yeah.
6 period series after having done all that. What's her decision making like in those moments for you?
Well, I think anytime when a player gets tired, especially the 6th period of a competitive weekend, where your skill level is not going to be as sharp as it is made from the first period. So then it becomes like, okay, I got to play smart, and that rink sometimes that's hard to do. And so, am I managing the puck? We talked about owning both blue lines. How do we do? Points we did pretty well. Other times we didn't do well, but history tells me, especially the last probably 3 or 4 years when we've gone down there, we've seen games like that. There's turnovers both directions, so you got to be prepared for that. And, the better job you do in certain parts of the rink will alleviate. So if I get that puck out 95% of the time out of our zone on our breakouts, chances are we're going to be at the other end more. If I do it 60% of the time, well, I'm going to be at my end, a higher percentages, and so I'm going to have to defend. I'm going to have to work. But one thing about KK, her tank's big. She can put a lot of fuel in there. Go out and play for 30 or 40 seconds. Exhaust herself, come back, and then she can turn around pretty quick because she's such a smooth skater. She's very efficient, so she can play high minutes. But in that environment, those high minutes compared to high minutes at St. Cloud or at Levana is going to be a little bit different. But again, when you get tired, and especially with a defenseman, I see the game. I got to manage that puck. I got to make the game simple, especially in that environment. Because if it's not in our end, we're not going to score. So what do I need to do to exit? What do I need to do to get the puck out to alleviate some of the pressure? At times we did a pretty good job of that. Other times, in the second period Saturday, we were fighting for our lives.
Coach, you played 2 high caliber programs in your last 2 weekends of action. St. Cloud State, Ohio State. Their attendance, their fan support isn't at the level that is, right? You look at their combined attendance, it's close to 1 night in the long. So what's that going to be like? What's that like when you guys end up playing from this crowd after going to good programs that don't necessarily have the same level of support?
Yeah, it's like I told the group Monday. It's hey, we got an opportunity Friday. Place is going to be sold out. You only get so many of these in your career. You get so many in a year. Well, we get another opportunity. I've been at home since we played Bemidji, and so if I'm a player, I'm going on the ice Friday night. I'm excited to play. irrelevant what's happened. We've played at a high level for the last couple of weekends against good teams on the road, done a good job, and again, can we go on the ice and execute and play up to our capabilities? That's the big thing I'm, as I said earlier, looking for is like those first 5 or 6 shifts. Are we playing with pace? Are we moving the puck? Are we creating opportunities? And so we'll see 7 or 8 minutes into the game what I've seen and what you've seen.
So that PWHL put out their list of neutral sites they're going to. You had talked before about that'd be great to have in that building over there. Is that something you thought was a possibility, or something you pushed for, or maybe just didn't happen this year? It might in a future season be something they turn to here?
I hope so. The hard part, and this year being probably our biggest challenge, is finding out what time our home games are going to be at because of all the other things that we have to deal with. And so, is there a window? Is there a pocket? Especially in the early spring of doing that. So I hope there is, and it'd be interesting to see. I think when we had the under-18s here, the community certainly supported that, and now you're bringing in professional players. I presume, depending on what teams come in, there'll be a little bit flavor of Wisconsin kids, and so it's something that I hope we look at seriously and see if the community is willing to support. It'll be a lot of fun. It's another event. All the events that we've put on in the city, generally they've gone pretty well because of the support of the community, whether it's hockey, Ironman, triathlons, different things that people are willing to come out and support. It'd be fun.
Tommy's been a little hard to pin down in terms of where they fall in this conference pecking order. How, looking at how they've played against some of these other WCHA opponents this year, are you evaluating them given the up and down manner of what they've been this year?
Well, they're capable of playing, at a pretty high level. They've played against, Ohio State. They did well against St. Cloud. They've gotten points. And every season, you play these 34 games. There's somewhere in there where things aren't going to go well. Can you win that game when they don't? And every team will go through that. Whether it's hockey, whether it's basketball, whether it's football. It's like at some point your A game's not going to be there. Can you figure out how to win that game? And the teams that usually are standing up at the end are able to do that. Not all the time, but are able to do that. So, for them, are they going through that period right now trying to figure that out? They got some issues outside of the rink that are going on that, are causing some things that create change. And so how do you come out of that? It's like dealing with life. There's sometimes adversity comes, you wake up one day and all of a sudden, whoa, that wasn't expected. That's not going to be what's going on. And so, they're sort of in that space, and we'll see what happens Friday night as they come down and play us.